right now I want to delve into what is happening in Rivers State, talking about the fight for the survival of the local government. You guys know the story too well, but if you're not comfortable with the story, let me bring you up to speed. Before the election, there were squabbles that the tenor of the wicked loyalist, which were chairman of local government in Rivers State, hasn't elapsed. Okay, due to the fact that we can Fubara, the governor, they have issues, they were shown the exit door. Of course, they went to court to get an injunction, but that didn't prevent Fubara from putting a date for the election, despite the court injunction. Fubara also went to another court to get an injunction giving a permission to conduct the election, and this is where it gets funny. All right? INEC, due to another court injunction, was restrained from giving RCEC, which is the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, the register of voters. Okay? They went to RCEC because of the court injunction. The police said, look, you just can't come in here. We have to seal this off following court injunction. And Fubara got angry and said, RCEC is my beauty. You don't tell me what to do. All right? And we can do this election without you. And they went ahead to get the old register to conduct the election, despite the fact that the court says, look, you cannot conduct any election, which was opposed by another court injunction giving them the power to carry out the elections. Too many injunctions. Confusing, isn't it? Well, the election took place amidst trouble, amidst squabble. Many people came out to protest against the count of the election, while some others came out to vote, and the results showed that APP won all seats except one, yes, so to speak, in Rivers State. Some are saying it's a calculated attempt by the governor, Simi Fubara, to give everything to the APP, related to be an alliance between him and the APP. We don't know about that yet. PDP lost out, APC lost out. Fubara also attacked the leadership of the Nigerian police force, saying it shouldn't take side. They should unseal the local government secretariat that were sealed hitherto by the police force. Of course, for fairness, so to speak, some are still doubting that fairness issue. The IGP gave an order that all police personnel that sealed up the secretariat should please pull out. And when they pulled out, that was when the unthinkable started happening in the Rivers State. The secretariat were attacked, and as I speak right now, one person is dead because of this squabble. We don't know what is going on even right now, this particular moment, but everywhere is seriously under fire. Each local government in the Rivers State, everyone trying to protect their own territory. And now the police have been ordered again to go restore peace. But I haven't said so many things about the police. Do you think the IGP would say, my men, go back again to seal up secretariats, or let them do what they know how to do, but let's see who comes out top? Now that is where we are today, fighting for the soul of the local government, taking the Rivers State as a case study. Brought up to speed, right? Now with me here in the studio, I have a legal practitioner, political affairs commentator, political analyst. Join me to welcome Barrister Emmanuel Obakpolo. Barrister, welcome to TMI Tuesday's edition. I appreciate your coming.
It's a delightful moment to be here. Good morning, Wesley.
All right. As very close to him, he's a lecturer in the University of Benin, political science, right? Dr. Andrew Omosefe.
Thanks for having me. Good morning.
People thinking about Rivers State are like sober. They're not happy about it. Others are saying, yes, fight to the finish. Let's see who come out tops. Some are cheering for Wike. Allegedly, he's the one, according to some reports, pushing his loyalists to say no to Fubara. And others are cheering Fubara, saying, yes, you are the governor. Show him that you are the governor. And the Rivers State is bleeding. Sometimes I like being a straight shooter. I'll come to your sector, Barrister. Some of the view that your sector, they are the cause of all this palaver. Too many injunctions, too many court orders. What in the world is going on, Barrister?
It's unfortunate that we find ourselves in, at this epoch, we find ourselves in this kind of quagmire. A state that is properly described as Huga Muga. a state of confusion. And we now see the same politicians who would tell the people, oh, any act that contradicts democracy is a threat to democracy. But these same men now and women are the ones threatening democracy. For goodness sake, Section 7 of the extant Constitution does provide for local governments. And by virtue of the provisions of the law just now in Nigeria, INEC is not vested with the power to conduct local government elections. It is the electoral bodies at the state level that are vested with that power. Then more so is that we saw recently that the federal government went to court, took the 36 states and FCT to court on the ground that they wanted local government autonomy. And the Supreme Court, in their wisdom, came up with judgment given power that there should be local government autonomy. In my interpretation, is financial autonomy. And now, there's also a time frame, October 31st, for all states that have not conducted local government autonomy to have their autonomy. Hence, monies meant for local government will not be distributed to them. And when you look at the extant constitution, the constitution does provides for just now joint accounts between the states and the local government. There's no specific account for the local government in the constitution. So the whole reading that we had is the what plays out just now. And the governors now say, okay, since you cannot twist us, then we will have our way to also go about it. And just now they said they want to conduct election just like what we have in River State. And somebody who felt that, no, before now, the State House of Assembly of River State purportedly extend the tenure of the local government chairman that the XY governor of the state, the person of Iyoso Wike, left behind. Now the question is, does the House of Assembly has power to extend the tenure of a local government chairman when their tenure expires at a particular time? Two, does even the court has power to do that? And to my mind, I think that they do not have power. What the governor of a state ought to do is, upon the expiration of a particular tenure, is to give a time frame within 3 months to conduct another election. And now this man, the person of Sim Fubara, said, okay, let me conduct election. And the man came with a big whip from Abuja and began to make a lot of noise here and there and said that the local government election cannot hold. To the extent we saw the IGP, the Inspector General of Police, threatening that the governor should not go ahead, that there's a court judgment. And now we have varieties of court judgments, so to speak, and that is unfortunate. And
how is it unfortunate when your own part of the society are the ones dishing out those judgments?
You know,
some favoring the governor, others favoring the part of Nyesom Wike, the minister of the Federal Capital Territory.
Permit me, Nigeria is a country where an elephant can fly, nobody will ask. In fact, an elephant fly, we'll call it an eagle. Say it's a bird. You are the only one who is only seeing it as an elephant. So, and that is why you see the judiciary just now. One, unfortunately, judiciary is the one that determines who wins an election in Nigeria. And now they're also bringing judiciary to also determine when and how, where an election could be conducted. And that is the reason why I said it is unfortunate. And now even the men who are sitting there at the high table in the courts, instead of them to begin to look properly, to say, look, I cannot grant this kind of order. This order is frivolous. This application that is before me is frivolous. You begin to see varieties of court order, even among courts with coordinate jurisdictions. And that is what bothers me. That worries me. So it means that these politicians have succeeded, that everything that needed to be done in this country must be within their whims and caprices. Okay. And the judiciary, unfortunately, has given in.
Well, for what he said, judiciary unfortunately have given in to the whims and caprices of politicians, but he talked about some from Abuja bringing a big whip saying you just cannot hold an election. Via the court, he got an injunction saying restrain this man, doesn't register, and INEC obeyed that instruction. And the court also gave the governor the power to go ahead with the election. What can you make out of this, Dr. Andrew?
Well, for me, I am saddened by the development in Rivers State. You know, I've stated here times without number that local government administration is the bedrock of development in any society. And as a developmentalist, a developmental expert myself, I will tell you here that every development, impactful development, must take a bottom-up approach. And if we must talk of a bottom-up approach to the development of any society, especially the Nigerian society, then the local government system is at the core of it all. And the reason why Nigeria has remained the way it is the fact that the local government system has been bastardized for so long, to the extent that these state governors have now, washed away entirely what we used to know as local government administration. The same local government system when we were growing up as children that could tar roads, that could provide potable water, that could deliver the goods, the dividends of democracy to the doorsteps of the common man. In fact, I do not know who the governor is. I wouldn't know who my House of Assembly member is, but I can know who my local councillor is. And so if there are issues in my area, I could walk up to my local councillor because we all grew up together in the same area, in the same zone, and then we could, through him, get what we want for our zone. And so, for so long, the state governors have held the local government system by the jugular, refusing to allow this local government system to perform to its optimum. And that's why we are suffering in Nigeria. That's why we are where we are. And I insist till tomorrow that the problem of Nigeria are the state governors who have refused to allow the local government administration, local government system to perform in this country. And it's playing out again, in Rivers. It has played out in other states. It played out in Edo, played out in Anambra. Even in Benue, as we speak, they are also crying that, one party swept the whole thing. And, it's becoming a menace, really. It's becoming embarrassing, where, you just conduct an election. Even in the stronghold of the opposition, the unpopular party will just win. And so these things have led to the bastardization, in fact, continuous bastardization of the local government system in Nigeria. Let us go back to Rivers. Rivers' case, it's not different from what we have been seeing everywhere. But the difference here is the violent dimension to this whole thing. It's a case of, two elephants fighting and then the local government system suffering. You see it, two political heavyweights fighting and the local government is left to suffer. For crying out loud, thank God we have a lawyer in this studio. Nigeria is a federal republic that operates on the principle, purportedly, let me use the word purportedly, on the principles of federalism.
Well, you just can't use word because that's what is operating on. Federalism.
I will.
That's what they say we are running right now.
No. Some scholars will argue that we are running a quasi-federal system. Some will tell you that there's nothing federal in our federalism. And that what we just have is something that is supposed to take the semblance of federalism, but, in a federal system, the central government is supposed to, the power is supposed to flow from the central government to the units, to the constituent units. In this case, Nigeria has three layers of government. We have the federal government, we have the state government, and we have the local government. And when the barrister was talking, I listened to him keenly, and he talked about the Constitution providing for local government joint account. And even some part of the Constitution, I can't remember now, also gives the State Assembly the powers to even take certain decisions on local government. When you have a councillor, the legislative system for the local government yeah. And in fact, the local government has, just as you have at the federal level, where you have the executive, the legislature, and judiciary, at the state level, the state, you also have same at the local government, where you have the chairman, that's the executive, you have the legislative, and then you have magistrate courts that are there to adjudicate on issues pertaining to the local government. And so, for me, I find it really disturbing how the Constitution can even envisage a joint account for local government, tying them to the whims and caprices of the state government, and how the same Constitution, who created a local government system, all right, and, you know, created a legislative arm for the local government, created a judicial arm for the local government, still found a way to tie this local government to the state government. All right. In fact, that is where the problem is. And you know, we began this course some time ago for INEC, you know, to begin to conduct elections. If INEC can conduct elections into the federal government, can conduct elections for the state government, what stops INEC from conducting elections, you know, at the local level?
We'll come to that.
You know?
We'll come to that. Well, if you just joined us, this is TMI. We're taking a look at local government election and challenges, really into what is going on in Rivers State. Joining us right now in the studio, he is a political analyst, political affairs commentator. Join me to welcome Ibrahim Momo. Welcome to TMI, Tuesday's edition. I appreciate the comment.
Thank you for having me. Good morning, Nigerians, and good morning, Wilson.
All right. I believe in monitoring the discussion. You listened to the first and, of course, the second speaker. What do you have to say about all this? Rivers State. Because from what he said, the judiciary having a part in this is quite unfortunate. And, of course, from what Doc said, he said everything both under the local government program started when the Constitution agreed to a joint account between the state government and, of course, the local government. So in all this upheaval, in all this, how will I put it now, chaotic situation in Rivers State, taking a look at these two elephants fighting the grass suffering, how do you think this has festered on for quite a long time, knowing fully well that the governor accused the IGP of, like, you know, almost taking sides, so to speak. Now, since the IGP left, there is chaos.
Thank you very much. The first thing to note is that Nigeria has a three-tier system of government. There is the federal, the state, and local governments. But since, with all due respect, Peter Obi became governor in Anambra State and didn't conduct elections, since then, the governors have deliberately, across the country, refused to now
blame on Peter Obi.
No, I'm not putting blame. I'm not
because that's what it sounded like.
No, I'm saying that I think it was the first governor that you know, hijacked the local government. And with all due respect to him, I mean, if you go historically, in Edo, for example, during the Grenadian era, Lucky Grenadian, who was the first governor in this dispensation, there was functional local government. In fact, I remember that there is a very good friend of mine, Harry Dagbon, who was governor of, who was local government chairman in Ego, in an opposition party, the APP then, won the best governor, the best local government chairman in the entire state, where a PDP governor, that was because there was functional local governments. You know, that is critical. I know I've always known local government chairman in Ego, on a personal note, and even the local government chairman for Itako West, where I come from. So I know for certain that local governments used to function. I'm saying that the first governor in Nigeria who had that ignoble distinction of hijacking the local government, with all due respect to him. And since then, other governors have borrowed the lead from it. Other governors. So that we now have two kind of models in running the local government. It's either you have lackeys or appendages superintending over local government as caretaker, or you have sham local government elections organized by purportedly state independent. Well, I don't know how independent they are. State independent electoral commissions who literally ride roughshod over the people's the will of the people, and declare nominated candidates of the governor's party, whatever state. Recently, we have had in the Akwa Ibom, the same day with Rivers, we've had local government election. And in just a while back, we had in Anambra. And in all of these elections, the ruling party significantly produces the chairman. Now, in Rivers, another reason why it is even more critical is that the ruling party at the state level, purportedly is PDP. But because the structure or the leadership of the party from the state to the world level is controlled by the current minister of the FCT and former governor of Rivers, Nyesom Wike, we have a situation whereby the governor has now, brought about a parody party, the APP, the All People's Party, and then a party that has not won any election anywhere in Nigeria over the last 3 presidential elections, general election I should say, has never won one thing in terms of from councillorship up to the presidential, has not won a single seat, has now won 22 out of the 23 as local government council chairmanship and all 391 councillorship seats in Rivers State. Now, the first thing is that the governors have hijacked local government, and they have not seen that as an appendage of the government house in the respective state. The second point that is now coming up is the role of political parties. How, once a political party is the vehicle, primarily the vehicle by which people get to power. In Nigeria, we don't allow, there's no concept of independent candidacy. You have to go through the president of the party. Now, those parties, again, I like to put the blame where it is. During the Buhari administration, when he was contesting 2019, we had kind of insurrection within the party. We had the incumbent governors and very powerful blocks within the same states trying to determine who become the candidate. We saw that in Ogun State, where former governor Ibukule Amosun, brought about the candidate, but because the candidate did not win, and Dr. Abedi won the primaries, he went on that party. And then the candidate of the governor, the incumbent governor, ran on a different party. He went to Imo State too. Then Governor Owele Anayoro Chatukurucha also put his son-in-law as candidate of the party. When the then chairman ruled against him, he moved his son-in-law to another party and funded that party. So, and the president stood aloof. So, again, I place the blame on the president because it's not only Peter Obi. I also mentioned Muhammadu Buhari. Because you just need to situate it the way it is. I mentioned this where it needs to be mentioned. And so, what we are seeing is that political parties that ought to be, political parties in the strictest sense have not been, tools or special purpose vehicles that the governors are using to achieve. And you are seeing that in Rivers. The governor will tell you, tongue-in-the-cheek approach, that his party is the loser, his party, quote unquote. But when you go a little bit deeper, peel one layer of that statement, you find out that his party is not actually the PDP anymore. Even though the current governor of Adamawa State, and of course the chairman of the PDP governor program was with him there, his allies, the ones he put as caretaker committee chairmen that were not allowed to function because it was illegal, as seen in the Supreme Court judgment, were the people who now ran as candidates under the All People's Party, APP, and now became elected local government chairman. So, two things there generally. The fact that the local government have been emasculated by state governors across the country. At the last count, 251 out of the 774 local governments in Nigeria have no elected officials.
Okay. Well, a date will be set already, 30th of October, which is this month. If not, no subvention for you, according to Mr. President, because they won the war, so to speak, right now for the autonomy for local government in the Supreme Court. So that's been done, but not yet dusted. If you take a look at Rivers State, despite the fact that PDP was crying foul, saying that they are the worst hit, so to speak, according to Fubara, he said, if you go beyond the layers, if you peeled one, peeled 2 of the layers, the truth started emerging, that this time around he has hijacked the structure, so to speak, of Rivers State. How do you feel about that comment?
Yeah, that's why I said the battle in Rivers now is unfortunate. By my thinking, it goes beyond local government elections. I also think and feel that it is also a battle for the soul of Rivers State for 2027 elections. Because someone feels that I have the structure of Rivers State. The structure, part of my structure in Rivers State is the governor, Sim Fubara. And now Sim Fubara wants to destroy that structure to build his own structure. So that is the essence for the battle. And that is why what bothers me more is that the elders, political, spiritual, traditional, and otherwise in Rivers, have also taken side. See, I always quote this whenever I'm opportune in a platform like this. In Muhammadu Buhari and Umar Musa Yar Adua, Oguntade JSC, as it then was, said, and I quote, "I will say the truth, even if the heavens will fall. Of course, when the truth is told, the heavens remain in place." The learned jurist was the only one who dissented in that case. But today, what do we see? I concur. Just as the phrase, go to court, has come to stay. I concur, has come to stay. And that is why you see today we have so many troubles. In the military era, we have jurists. People like Kayode Esho, who will stand and say, no, this is the position. My judgment is tailored towards this direction because this is my reasoning, deductively and otherwise. But today, no, we don't see that. To the extent that even traditional rulers now have what they call super child amongst the politicians. The spiritual leaders, oh, don't go there. A bag of rice will change their mind. So you begin to see all of this playing out today. And Rivers is now boiling. We are talking of Rivers. Benue is on now. I just saw the news crew. PDP is kicking in Benue State. Supposedly governed by a priest. So who is telling the truth? Who is telling the lies?
Interesting.
So we find ourselves today, we are discussing River State. Once upon a time, we saw the abracadabra that took place in Edo State. And everybody say, hooray for thunder. Today is Rivers. Who next?
Who next? That's the question. Who next? It talks about Benue State where APC claimed victory. People like say, but governor, you are a priest. How come that thing happened? PDP, they are complaining bitterly. But there was a twist in Akwa Ibom State where, despite the fact that other political parties came out, but the local government off. The Senate president came back to him and they're asking questions. How did it happen? What in the world happened? These are just the drama seen in due course of conducting a local government election. But he said it's all about 2027. Because Mr. President made it clear to the world and the country that, look, he's not thinking about 2027. How come we are saying it's all about 2027? Take it up from there, Doc.
Of course, it's all about 2027. I made a statement here now that the two elephants are fighting. It is the local government that is suffering. Everybody wants structure. Without structure, you cannot win elections. In fact, structure is the oil that lubricates the wheels of elections, especially in political parties.
For people say that they don't need structure.
So it is that structure from the local government structure, the wards. And when you talk of councillors, it is the councillors that will oil their units. All right. So the thing flows, from bottom to top, and so everybody wants structure. Everybody wants to fight for the soul, of the structure. So for me, it is a terrible situation. I still maintain that. And my worry here is that all of this will keep Nigeria, in perpetual darkness and Nigerians in perpetual poverty. Because if you do not have a solid, look, if you go to countries that are working, go and check their local government system. Yeah. For instance, if you go to Britain and you see counties, you see how counties are performing. Counties are even funding education, funding health, funding infrastructure. Yeah. You'll be so amazed how a government can function. If you go to the United States, it is the same thing. If you go to Germany, Germany is even very strong.
If you use the word counties, some will just get confused. Local governments.
Counties are local governments.
Yes.
However you want to. Some are cantons. Some are cantons. But the top tier of government. And so, if you go to all of these different countries, you see how the local government system is operating. In fact, nobody goes to the states or the federal government. Nobody goes there. If I have need, I go to my local government office and lay my complaints there. And in fact, let me give you, let me share an experience with you. Growing up as kids, I grew up in the urban area at Old Western, between third and secondary secular. In fact, water was a big deal then. And so when the late Okomina became chairman of Oredo local government, he began this water scheme. All right? And it was that water scheme that brought water to my house. We were fetching from the tap. And once your pipe, gives way, and water starts coming from the ground, all you need to do is to go to the local government secretariat and lay complaint. The following day, you will see people coming, either from the water board, urban water board then, or the local government office to come and fix the broken pipe. And government was effective because the local government, like I said, is closer to the people. Yes. And so you can easily run to your local government chairman or the councillors and lay complaints, and within, in real time, your complaints are attended to and problems are solved. Now, how do I go to government house to go and look for, can I even see the governor?
For every ward.
Exactly, for every ward, every community. That's why you see protests everywhere. If you talk to you say, we don't get light, we don't get what. Do you know that local government administration, they were buying transformers, lighting up communities? Look at what just happened in Lagos. That's an example of local state where local government is functioning as of today, where a local government chairman built two beautiful edifices, housing estates. Local governments are funding housing estates in Lagos. Rivers case situation is a situation where everybody just want to scramble for even the smallest of powers. At the end of the day, why both of them are fighting, Wike is fighting, Fubara is fighting, everybody just want to fight to keep structure, the people are suffering.
All right. Now let's take a look at the situation right now in Rivers State. One person is dead already. Do you think that this situation will be brought under control within, let's say, the next few days, or is going to get worse? Talking about escalation of this particular situation.
Well, I think that even if it simmers, the war, it is just, we are still at the preliminaries. There's a big fight that is coming. Both of my colleagues on set have said, it's about 2027. And what you are seeing essentially is the fact that power blocks, at the expense of the people, are not interested in development. They're just interested in control. That's something of worry. They're not interested in development. So, and repeatedly the point that they made, if the local government was not important, it would not be a constitutional, what do you call it now? It would not be in a constitution if it was not important. In Nigeria, more than several other states, you have other states of the world, you have a third tier constitutionally guaranteed. But that level of government, which used to be the elixir for development, for takeoff, for socioeconomic, for the betterment of the life of the people, has been over the years has been downgraded, degraded, hijacked by state governments across the country. The challenge in local government is so bad that even where in most places you have local government elections, it is just like appointees of state governors. Because every time you see elections, it is the ruling party in most states. It is the ruling party that gets to win. Those same state governors cannot even do well in their elections. You have seen in Zamfara, for example, the current Minister of State for Defense, Bello Matawali, in the local government election, it was one party rule.
Even that same man, say one party rule.
That same man could not even win, election, a election, second term election. In Edo, for example, you could even say that in the last local government election, it was 18/18.
Okay, gentlemen, you've heard them. We're going to continue with this discussion. Maybe later, subsequently, you never can. Maybe this Sunday we'll dive more into this particular discussion. I may just have you guys on set to throw more light on this. Thank you so much, gentlemen. I appreciate a wonderful analysis.